Welcome to another episode of the INH Show, where we talk about geek culture, news, and lifestyle. Pretty big episode.
A long-awaited episode.
Interesting episode.
Highly demanded episode.
I mean, you can pretty much obviously tell from this, what we're going to talk about.
It's what everyone's talking about, isn't it?
Right, it is. And I believe you've been getting a bunch of PMs that are saying, hey, when are you going to do this? Your thoughts about it. And I've been getting the same thing as well. Which is a little bit worrying because I was saying this off camera before. I feel a bit funny about actually doing it because I think most people will know my views for it. But
well, let's get into it because this is going to be a big episode, I think. First of all, so Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. It's still the opening week. Do you recommend the movie?
No.
Okay, that's it.
That's
all right. My opinion is that spoiler-free. We're going to do spoiler-free, of course. It's not a good movie. It is disappointing, but I still feel I recommend you go and watch it. If you're a fan of the characters, if you're a fan of the actors, there is enough cool stuff to see that will be worth talking about and worth seeing on the big screen. So if you haven't seen it, if you've read nothing but bad reviews and you've been told to steer clear away from it, I'm telling you to go watch the movie. So put this on pause, go watch the movie, then come back and watch this so we can talk about it.
So here's the thing, though, just to sort of clarify, I know that there were a whole bunch of articles out before we got the release and before I watched it.
I never read any.
I didn't read any of the articles. I just made up my mind on the trailers, what I've seen for the trailers, what I've seen visually, and all that sort of stuff. And then going into the movie, I had low expectations, and I was hopeful that the symbol means something. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it meant something.
And I was like hoping I'd walk out of it going, hey, that was actually not as bad as I thought. Just like Man of Steel, and everyone knows my view of Man of Steel is it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. I was okay with it. I overall enjoyed it, and I will stand by it.
That's interesting because you don't mind Man of Steel. Do you recommend it?
Yeah.
See, I'm of the opposite. I didn't like Man of Steel at all. I really don't recommend it at all.
Okay.
I mean, you should still watch it, I guess. But I thought it was terrible.
Okay.
And this one, I'm not saying is.
You're not saying it's good, but there are good points about it.
Yeah, well, okay. I think I liked it better than Man of Steel, but that's for reasons we'll get into, and that's probably a bit of a.
All right, well, look, let's get into it. Do you want to start off with what you don't like about it, or what do you like about it?
Well, I guess we can talk about the good first because I will say there is less good than there is bad in the movie.
Agreed. There are good stuff about it, but go on. Yes,
well, there were glimpses of good things, and ultimately it is disappointing. But so it started off with this the retelling the story of the death of the Waynes.
Bruce, the father, and what happened.
Yeah. Now
we all know that. Sorry, that's not a spoiler, but go on.
Yeah, Zack Snyder's fingerprints are all over this thing at the beginning, and I don't think it's bad because you say what you want about Zack Snyder, but I've always felt that he can do a good opening title card or opening sequence.
Yeah, all right.
It's slow-mo and everything, but I think it works. People complain that we don't need to keep seeing the Batman origin story, and in some ways I can sort of understand because everyone should know it. Just like Spider-Man, I don't know whether we need to keep telling Spider-Man's origin.
Yeah, but everyone has their own sort of interpretation of it, right? Like,
well, in this case,
he goes into the cave before or after and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and in this one, they tell you that it's coming out of the cinema because if you went by the Nolan universe, they went to the opera, which I never really liked that origin.
Okay.
That origin, but so I thought it started off well. It had this slow-mo, you had him running off and Alfred's calling it back and he falls in the cave. And like when he's looking at the bats, I don't know if this is me projecting, but when he sees the bats, he's looking through the cave, it's like the bat symbol, so the bats there.
Yep, absolutely.
And then the bats fly at him, and then they start circling him around, and he gets lifted up. And then I was like, this is a bit worrying.
Well, what is that? Yeah, so was that part?
It's a dream. It's a dream sequence, isn't it? Because
Bruce
is talking about, he's like, well, and
right.
In the dream, they take me to whatever,
But he started off floating because the bats were circling him and pulling him up.
Yeah, which I guess on paper sound and maybe in a
book, but on paper it's
but looking at it, it's like, this is a little bit worrying. So that already was a little bit worrying for me. But,
hey, I thought we were talking about positives here.
Well, no, the opening sequence until that moment for me, I had no problem with retelling the Waynes. They reused the Dark Knight Returns imagery. Or maybe not, but they used Frank Miller's, the thing with the gun caught in the necklace, that was all out of Frank Miller.
Well, what I was going to say is what I really liked about that was that particular scene where they had the gun with the necklace, and the thing that broke the necklace wasn't someone snatching it off. It's the fact that when the guy pulled the trigger,
out of Frank Miller,
that's when it's like, and that's when it snapped the pearl necklace. Right?
And that's the sort of
that
thing.
was cool.
That's the sort of thing with Zack Snyder does really well, in my opinion. But over 2.5 hours, I guess we'll get into
But
that.
that was, I gotta say, that was one of the points that I thought was really cool. Like I was like, whoa, that's a really cool scene to see. Like up.
That's
in
something.
live action.
That's something which on paper looked good, and on film it looked good as well, in my opinion. Batman. We're going to talk about Batman, right?
Okay.
I think Affleck was great as Batman. I think he was brilliant, I dare say, as Batman.
Okay.
My big issue with the movie as a whole, if I'm to summarize, is that I just didn't like the direction they went with it, which again we'll talk about. But Batman.
I think
Batman kills, alright? So
we will definitely get
we
into
are well
that.
in spoiler territory already, but
Okay.
Batman kills, which I have a big problem with. And did you read this article about Zack Snyder giving his rationale as to why Batman kills?
No.
Basically, he
I
says
stayed
that...
away from any sort of...
well, I mean, now that we've seen the movie, he said something along the lines of, well, it's like collateral damage. Like, I'm not going to execute someone. Like, Batman doesn't throw someone to the ground and shoot him in the face. But if he's... driving a car and his car, see if he sideswipes another car, and you're a criminal, you're in that car, you might get hurt, you might die, it's not his problem.
So
that's the Zack Snyder
let me
rules
just,
that Batman.
So,
that
but
is
let
applied
me
to
just
Batman.
ask you, being a Batman aficionado here, that wouldn't happen in the books. Am I correct to say that? He would stop them. He would stop.
Yeah.
His whole thing is
He wouldn't
he
kill,
will break
period, full
bones.
stop.
He will put them in hospital, but he will never kill them.
My Batman doesn't kill.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. So I mean,
well, and I think Zack Snyder was making he was separating manslaughter versus like willfully killing someone.
well, here's the funny thing, right? In I guess this Batman is sort of focused on the Dark Knight, the Frank Miller Batman.
Heavily inspired.
But even with that, he was using rubber bullets, right?
Yeah, well, he even goes so far as to say rubber bullets.
It's rubber bullets, yeah.
And there is a scene where he shoots, you know, at the end where he's got KG Beast against, he's got the flamethrower, and he grabs the guy through the wall, and he points the gun in. Well, that's something out of Dark Knight Rises as well.
Okay.
And so he's used... He can use guns, which to me, I don't like the idea of Batman using guns as well, but that's something which I'm a little bit more willing to
slide.
to let it slide. Especially this Batman, like the Ben Affleck. I don't know why, but having Ben Affleck there made it a little bit more okay. I liked Batman's introduction in this movie. You know the scene with the cop? He's like, they're coming through, and you see Batman hiding.
He's just like up the top on the corner.
Yeah, and the way he moves.
When he around, he's like,
yeah, like
it almost like it's a demon or something.
Yeah, and it's like, well.
Like
is this what the cops really see? This is from his point of view. So I always wanted to see Batman moving in such a way. So like, that was a great introduction to Batman, to the Batman character.
I agree with you in the sense of the movement and that first scene of showing Batman. It almost made the movie, for that split 30 seconds, almost like a horror film. And
Batman relies on that.
And that's the thing though, right? Like, it's only until Batman Begins started when people were like, oh, he's supposed to be like this myth, this thing, this terror in the night, this person that runs around, scares the crap out of people. And I think they pulled that scene off well when he was just like, on the corner and stuff like that.
And that's the thing about me, like, if you show me that one little scene, that's something I've always wanted to see. I've always wanted to see Batman portrayed as this scary, intimidating, like the cops are afraid of him, the criminals are afraid of him. And for me to get that finally... I can sort of block out 99% of the movie and just enjoy that movement.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
No, I'm still not defending the movie, but I mean that was a cool sequence. That was a cool little bit. There's a few other cool bits as well in the movie.
Okay.
But Batman was good. Affleck is an animal in this movie. Like you see him with his shirt off, he's training. He's doing the shit. He makes Henry Cavill look like a little boy. I said that I wish I could look like Henry Cavill. I take that back. I wish I could look like Ben Affleck in this movie.
So
he's like pounding the tire. He's like.
So just very quickly with the Batman, this Batman vs Superman movie, I will say that I did feel that Ben Affleck and the Batman character in it was what held up the movie. It was Batman movie. That's how I felt about it. Like if it wasn't for that, if he wasn't in it, this movie would just go downhill. Like. I wasn't impressed with Wonder Woman. I wasn't impressed with Superman in it. It's the same Superman that we've seen before. They haven't really brought anything new Like, you know what I mean?
All of this stuff,
So-
all of these characters are Snyder's version of it, or seemingly his version.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Goya to take the blame as well, because I'm not really a huge fan of Goya. You didn't like Superman in this movie.
Well,
I think
let me
he's a
rephrase
bit more
that.
divisive.
I don't think. It's not that I don't like him. He was just very one-dimensional in the sense of, I've seen him in Man of Steel. It's just the same guy. There's nothing new to it.
I guess,
he didn't
but
bring anything new to
This
the table.
isn't a direction of Superman that I like. And I don't like the Superman they set up in Man of Steel, which is why I didn't like Man of Steel, because to me it wasn't a Superman movie at all.
Fair.
So we're following from that. Like, I like the Superman stories where like he's this conflicted Jesus character almost.
Yeah,
and I guess
right.
by the end of the movie, well, he
was
is
like
Jesus,
that. Yeah,
because he
yeah.
dies and he comes back to life. But this Superman, I think he's great, but the Superman arc just happened way too quickly in this movie.
Okay.
Like, he's still conflicted, and then he's got this thing where he dies. It means nothing because it happens in like one movie. It comes back to life. It means nothing because it's all in one movie. Like, there's a bit where Martha hands the ring to Lois. Like,
That's what's the end.
that was and I'm bouncing all over the place, but these are all powerful moments. What should have been powerful moments?
Yeah.
I got a little bit emotional that scene where she's got the ring,
Yeah. Okay.
but they gave me no reason to like
Like the-
Henry Cavill's Superman character from Man of Steel and even from this movie. And yeah, I know it's more of a Batman movie.
See, for me, all those scenes, I was bored as hell.
Well, you're not the only one. Many people were.
Taking a step back, though, just to speaking of Batman, what I thought another cool part, and I'm trying to bring out all the positives about this movie, because for me, everything about the rest of it is just negative. But the positive thing is, the Bat voice, when Alfred
The
was like
voice, yeah,
doing
testing
testing, that was cool.
What was the deal with this Alfred? I mean, he's a mechanic. He makes
he does
the suit,
everything.
yeah.
He does everything. What a freaking badass.
He pilots the
Yeah.
the thing.
He's a freaking bad. I want an Alfred like that. That's so cool. But the voice changer, that was really cool, because in the Nolan Batman, it's basically
It's putting on a
Bruce
voice.
Wayne putting on a voice, and
In all
and
of
then
them,
when
it's
he
him putting
starts
on a voice.
and when he starts talking normally, he talks like this all the time, and it starts to sound stupid, right? But when he's talking aggressively, like, where is he? That makes sense.
Yeah, that works, but
the fact is that when he's talking and having not really a conversation, but he's having a conversation.
that
with,
was cool. That was cool.
the
I
voice
like
changing
that.
was really cool. I
I like
love
that. I like the suit. The
robot suit?
Yeah, I like the robot suit.
I like the way he had the gun with the gas, with the kryptonite
the
gas,
gun.
and he was like struggling to breathe and stuff, and he's like, breathe in, and that was really cool.
That's almost that was getting close
cool.
to the Dark Knight Rises
Right.
as well.
So it almost seems like all the positive stuff is the stuff that they pretty much taken out of the Dark Knight, like the Frank Miller book. Everything else in between was just, to me, and I'm going to put it bluntly, utter garbage to me.
Fair
utter
enough.
garbage.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
sorry,
I still
but-
like. There are some glimpses of Superman that I really like. Like,
Okay.
there was the bit where he's fighting Doomsday initially, when he's punching him into the sky, and he sees the nuke, and he's still punching him because he knows that he's like he knows what's gonna happen, and yet he still holds Doomsday. Like, I think that's great. Like, that is a Superman that I want to see.
Okay.
Someone who's willing to sacrifice himself.
Yeah, all right.
Like,
That's fair.
So that's a little glimpse. That's something which I'm happy I got to see that as well. And again, yes, what you were saying about the Dark Knight Returns, when he gets the Fallout Superman where he's all shriveled up and
Yeah.
skinny, and then the sun sort of... I thought that was a cool scene. I thought that was a great way to show that, the sun energizes him.
Yeah,
And he's different.
Okay.
He's not a normal superhero.
I just came up with another positive about this movie.
Oh, wow. That's... Go on.
The fighting scene. The fighting scene towards the end, not the Batman versus Superman fighting scene, but this fighting scene where Batman fights the thugs. That took Martha
Which
out.
we saw in the
Yeah,
in the trailer.
that was really cool. And my brother actually brought up a really good point about this. It's almost like Arkham Asylum, the game, Batman, where you walk in there, you like press counter and he counters, and you attack, do certain combos, so kind of counter. Like it almost felt like that, which that's a perfect analogy.
I
was
think
like,
it's
oh my
good.
god, that's a good point.
Yeah, and that's another
But,
thing.
oh
Like,
man,
we
that
finally
acting was
got
so cool.
a Batman, which I like the way he takes on thugs and fights. So like all the other Batmans, like Christian Bale is
It was pretty
like
good. Though.
you can
can't say
tell
it's
he's
crap.
no, but you can tell he's struggling to move in that suit.
Yeah,
But this Batman is completely different.
he was like
that
running,
was cool.
grabbing, slamming their heads down, like he
Yeah,
was
so
so
again,
cool.
these are things that I'm glad I got to see it.
That was really
You
cool.
didn't like Wonder Woman.
Okay,
I thought she was great. The amount of time that she was in it was great.
She was,
the way she was used was great, except when she was opening up those YouTube clips of, you know.
So Gal Gadot is super hot, like amazingly gorgeous. The end. I'm sorry. What was great about her acting? She walked around like, ooh,
okay, well,
mysterious look. Mysterious look. Let's walk away.
No, she did more than that. She had that look, and when she gives that smile to Bruce, it's like, oh, it's good.
It didn't do anything.
Her acting was. I still don't know about how good her acting is because her role is quite limited.
Yeah, you don't see anything, and that scene where she like jumps and all of a sudden she's like, boom, straight. That looks so unrealistic.
I like it.
Stupid.
I think Wonder Woman was great in this movie. Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, but I think this Wonder Woman was fantastic in this movie because she was like, I love how you know, Batman's got the little gadget and he comes in and he tries to, you know, like Wonder Woman she makes him look foolish basically.
Oh, when he puts it on the
Yeah. So like Wonder Woman is, and at the end she basically saves the day. Like she's the reason that Batman and Superman can even that Doomsday even gets beaten. And I like the fact that her sword could cut through a Kryptonian, or you know, half Kryptonian, whatever you want to call it. She held her own, and the lasso looked great. I'm so happy. See, that's another thing.
The lasso didn't do anything.
The lasso,
she only just
I know it didn't show us the way it was executed. The way I saw it on screen, and then it glowed, and then when she got hit, like her armor glows.
You know what?
That was cool.
I wanted to see
and the music soundtrack was good.
So I wanted to see a Wonder Woman that's stronger than what I saw. That's what it was. All she did was
she did a lot of the heavy lifting.
All she did was like, I would say 80% of the time she just defended herself, like swinging her sword around.
She did more than that.
Like
Batman did nothing. Batman did nothing in that fight.
He was useless.
No, which is good.
He just stood there.
I appreciate it. No, he didn't even stand it off. Batman was running away, looking for cover, which is great. I think that's something.
Anything.
Exactly.
He couldn't do anything.
I like that, and you know, because I like Batman being this unstoppable force, but give me some sense of reality. Like, there's no way he could. Like, I'm glad he didn't try to, like, you know, punch him a few times and then roll away and then look for cover. I'm glad that didn't happen.
That would be hilarious. Someone needs to make a YouTube clip about that. Like,
I'm surprised he didn't like Wonder Woman, because one thing
I wanted to see her stronger. That's why I wanted to see her more aggressive.
Are you
like an
Amazonian,
looking forward to the
Amazonian?
Like, I want to see her more.
Gal Gadot
she was still too girly.
Beautiful.
She's too, but that's the thing. She's too pretty.
The thing with Wonder Woman though is that yes, she's beautiful, but she's not. You're not supposed to lust after her. You know, like I think she's imposing, and she makes you feel that. You know, I think there was a line in a Justice League book. I think Flash said like he wanted to use the Speed Force to perv on Wonder Woman. But then when you looked at it, it was like, well, it's like looking at your mom, like, you know, you shouldn't look at it. You shouldn't look at Wonder Woman in this way, which I think Gal Gadot doesn't quite have that yet. Her physique.
No, absolutely
You know that
not.
picture that you know, we saw that picture of the Amazons and Themyscira. You know, she's in gold, sort of thing.
Yes,
and she's like super skinny.
Yes,
and stuff.
yes.
Like
she needs to be more built.
As a young Wonder Woman, okay, but now we're getting an established Wonder Woman. It's still physically she didn't quite get there, but. And I think that Wonder Woman was used well in this movie.
I wanted to raise another thing as well. And I can't remember if it was Luke or Rod that brought this up. I think it was Rod. And the fact that there was a freaking image of her in the army in, 1918 or whatever it is, with Steve Trevor or whoever it is.
Uh-huh.
That to me, and Rod brought up a good point. That is it wasn't like someone just took a candid shot. They were posing for that. How can no one know about who this Wonder Woman is?
Well, we don't know who took the picture. We don't know what secret society, like, you know, like in this comic book world.
But it's pretty obvious. That's like it's like in Captain America. It's like they're studying with Captain America. You know, like, do you know what I'm saying? It's
but Shield. I mean, like, if we're going to that world, like, isn't Shield like this well-hidden secret? You know, like, people can keep secrets, so that to me wasn't a big issue.
Well, it was, and then the fact that Bruce didn't know who she was, and it's like, who is she? Who is she?
That's
looking up on the computer, who is she? And the next day, it's like, oh, I know who you are. You by chance, we're in the same museum. You know, it's like, what? Weren't you like, who is she?
Well, that's the thing. Bruce is dumb in this movie. Like, he's like the dumbest character in this movie because he's waging war after Superman. Like, this isn't that's not a Batman that I like. And he's just making these impulsive decisions. You know, like Batman is willing to kill at the end. Let's talk about the fight, the Batman vs Superman fight.
Yeah, he was willing to kill for sure.
I like that
He was
fight.
ready for it.
I think that was brilliantly put together. Like, Superman comes down there. He's not looking for a fight. He's like, Bruce, I need you to help me out with this. But what does he do? Like, he does the Sonic thing.
Oh, that was cool.
You know, and he's got the guns shooting at him. Like, this is all.
The gun,
like,
but the Sonic thing was
in
really
no
cool.
way should Batman be able to put up any sort of fight against Superman unless he's conflicted and unless he's got that little ace up his sleeve, the kryptonite, you know? And not only that, but he has to have this fight in his home ground where he knows he's got this weapon that can get the job done. So I think that was great. He's got the kryptonite, he shoots him, and he's, you know, and as you said,
breathing it in, and
he's stomping him, he's punching him. There's a scene where he's punching him, and then like Superman, like the kryptonite's wearing off.
Yeah, and he's like,
and back, it's like something out of Ric Flair with wrestling. Like, whoa, you know, like he's backing off him. But what did you think about the whole Martha reveal?
Sorry,
the Martha. You know, like your mom's Martha. You know, why'd you say that name? Why'd you say that name? And then Lois goes,
well, and another thing that Rod brought up to the point, which was fun, I found it hilarious, was like, at the end of it, it's like, what'd you say? It's like, it's his mother. It's like, it's almost like Batman was like, "She, man, you should have just said that to begin with." What the hell?
But then we got no.
You know what I
Look,
mean?
if Superman landed on the thing, Superman landed on the thing and said, I guess, hey, look, my mother Martha's being held hostage. You know, then yeah, we got no movie. But it was a very comic book sort of scenario where they come to that realization. People are really critical about that scene where like Bruce is like, oh, why would you say that name? You know, and then like, oh, we're best friends now, but. Is that really that big a criticism? I mean, it's a comic book movie. Like, I don't think so. Like, and the way that Ben Affleck acts in that, you know, with like half his face exposed, I thought that was a cool image. I thought the way he acted, the way he looked at, like you can see in his mind, like, because the whole thing about Batman is that he doesn't want what happened to him. He doesn't want to happen to anyone else.
So we know,
that's why he saved that girl.
We can agree. So we can agree that Ben Affleck just did a perfect job as the and I agree, and I said that before we actually watched the movie like quite a while ago, that I think Ben Affleck will pull off a good Batman. I think he would, and he did. He executed really well. There was no way in hell that I could actually fault him on anything that he did as a Batman character. I think his version is pretty good.
If you're gonna fault him, it's what he was, the material that he was given. Like, you're gonna get Batman that kills him. I think it's okay to have Batman, like, he's willing to kill Superman because he thinks Superman is this big villain. So like I think it's fine. Like. And I mentioned before in Final Crisis, Batman uses a pistol. He says, well, you know, I'm going to make a once-in-a-lifetime exception for you.
Right, yeah.
Because this is, you know...
This is when he goes for Darkseid, right?
It's a Darkseid, yeah. And so he's willing to make that exception. So, you know, again, I never want to see Batman... I'd rather not see Batman kill, not in that way, and I'm glad it didn't happen.
Okay.
But, yes, Ben Affleck did a good job in that role.
He did a brilliant job.
I think Lois Lane was... great. Amy Adams.
She was annoying. She was useless.
Why was she annoying? What?
She was useless. She was just...
No,
the only thing great about it is I saw the top of her boobs when she was in the bath, and that's it.
There was a sensuality.
But that was it. Like, she was useless. What was she there for? And the only thing she did was something negative, which is grabbing the spear, throwing it in freaking water, and then realizing like 5 minutes later, like, oh crap, I did the wrong thing. I gotta go get it.
Now, didn't you think Aquaman was gonna pop up and, you know, do that?
I actually thought that he was gonna be using that spear instead or something, as a trident, or I don't know.
I would have preferred if Wonder Woman killed Doomsday myself rather than Superman. I've had enough of Superman killing people, like 2 from 2 movies, killing 2 villains. I thought Aquaman was gonna be the one to just give Lois or give Superman or something the staff or the spear, and it disappeared. Not this Pantene commercial where he wraps out his hair like in his way. The bit where his eyes light up was cool.
I don't.
But then it's
so that's the next thing I wanted to bring up is all these cameos, which is like name dropping basically.
It's more than name dropping.
What was the point of seeing that? I mean, I understand like it's just setting up to sort of say, hey, Ken, there's more characters coming up, man. I'm gonna drop this and this and this. But they did it in such a way that one, it didn't need to be in the film. If they took it out entirely, it wouldn't have made a difference.
I think it would have been better if they took it out.
And number two, it was just like the scenes were so small that it's like you know.
It was very intrusive.
It's pointless.
It was very intrusive
and pointless.
Because like
it didn't need to be in there at all.
I don't need to see Gal Gadot at a computer clicking open files and just saying, oh, you know, this is some, you know, flashing, and they had the little symbols and all that. So I didn't care for that.
The symbol is so lame. It's so the thunder for the
I don't think it's lame.
Sea it is cheap. Oh my god.
No, I don't think it's lame because if Luthor's trying to come up with this hidden top secret thing, you're not going to just write, it's subject, like, can run fast.
Yeah, but it was like it was something made or designed for kids.
A comic book?
No, kids, like kids. It's so...
I think it's fine. I think that was... I didn't have a big issue with seeing those logos there. I thought it was very ham-fisted. I thought it didn't need to be there.
The
scene
didn't need to be there.
The scene with the Flash popping up was confusing for many people. Like, we know what's up.
Yeah, right.
But
do you think it's the Flash from that universe, or do you reckon it's like an alternate universe, one of the other universes?
It doesn't matter. I mean, is there a difference? I mean,
I don't know, but
it's this. I think he's wrong for Flash. If Grant Gustin showed up in that role,
I would have been a bit better.
I would have been so much happier.
Yeah.
If that was him.
That Flash, I was just like, this is not the Flash. It didn't even convince me. He was wearing some weird-looking freaking costume. He didn't even look.
I have a theory about that a bit later on. But yeah, I didn't think that scene needed to be there.
Oh, it definitely didn't need to be there. It was absolutely pointless. It was pointless.
So we're well and truly into the negative side of things.
Yes,
I mean,
we are.
and we can blame the writing, the editing, and so forth.
The writing was terrible, the dialogue was terrible, the editing was the most horrible thing. They freaking crossed the filming line multiple times, that it was so jittery. They edited where the storytelling was horrible. It's like jumped from one part to another part. Like, for example, from Bruce's story to Clark Kent's story to Bruce's story, and it just kept on jumping.
That I don't disagree with. That I don't disagree with, but I'm going to say that many people out there probably wouldn't have. People aren't fixating. The only people who are fixating these things are people watching the show, who know a bit more about.
But it's
I don't think the general public really.
The whole movie was. You know what it felt like? And this is what I said to my brother. It felt like the person who edited this was doing a university work placement, and they're like, oh yeah, I can edit this movie. And that's what it felt like. It was like some amateur work placement person that was editing this movie. That's what it felt like. Either that, or B, the movie was so long, which was 2.5 hours-ish, give or take.
Yeah, and there was a longer cut somewhere, which may or may not be better.
Exactly. So it could be the fact that it was so long, maybe 3 hours, 2.5 hours, that they had to cut out so much to the point where it made it not a smooth edit, not a smooth storytelling, you know what I mean? That's how I honestly felt. I thought Age of Ultron was bad when they've taken chunks out and you're like, whoa, that doesn't explain, where did Thor go? Why did he just walk off all of a sudden and come back? But you know what? This is even worse than that. This is horrible. Like, I was so angry after.
I think it's a combination of things, and until we see the full cut, we don't know whether the writing wasn't great, and so the editor did the best with what they could do. Yeah, I feel that they had to answer to a lot of masters. They had to get it within a certain time frame.
Yep.
They had to hit certain points.
Correct.
The editing is not good in this movie.
It was horrible.
The writing, I feel, is not good. I mean,
it was horrible.
Can you explain to me Luther's plan? Like, it was a bit...
And that's another thing.
And Luther wasn't well explored in it. Like, you didn't like Luther at all, right?
I freaking hated him. And what I said last time when we saw the trailer was, I hope that in front of everyone he's like this flamboyant, you know, hey everybody, I'm Lex Luthor, and then behind closed doors like, all right, we need to do this, we need to destroy this, you know what I mean?
I feel we got a little bit of that. We got a little bit of it.
A fraction, but he's still Lex Luthor.
It wasn't,
you know, it's like
this villain wasn't Lex Luthor to me. Like they tried to make him, you know, some of the things he did was a very Luthor thing to do, but. And I don't dislike Jesse Eisenberg either. I just feel that this manic, over-the-top character that he was made to play, it just wasn't Luthor for me. And at the end of the movie, so we get bald Luthor at the end.
Okay.
But it's because he gets his head shaved.
Yeah.
So he isn't really bald. Like, you know, it's not... Like, Luthor should be bald, I think.
I think it's a thing.
Whether it's because he plays a kryptonite and the kryptonite makes his hair fall out, or he's old and the hair falls out.
I don't mind the fact that he shaved his head. It's a different interpretation of, oh, that's how he lost his hair. He went to jail for it. Okay, fine. But it's just, the character itself was not Luthor to me. And, you know who the perfect Luthor is for me? The, is it All-Star Superman?
Yeah. You're talking about the characterization of Luthor.
Yeah, right. That is, to me, the perfect Luthor. Because you read that book, and it's like, oh, he's not necessarily a bad guy. He's just a guy that really wants to stop and save the universe in his own view. And even when he got the powers, and he was like seeing what Superman saw through his eyes, he was like, oh, this is what he must see.
Yeah.
And he started crying, right? Like, that is the perfect
All-Star Superman was great. I think I really like Luthor Man of Steel, you know, the Azarelli Luthor, and I feel like they tried to get elements of that, you know, like... Because, and again, maybe we're projecting, or I'm projecting, and I'm looking more into it than there should be, but I never really know his motivation. Like, does he hate Superman?
Well,
like,
this-
is it because
what-
he's
so-
trying to take over the world?
So
Is he,
yeah,
what's-
what was he trying to do?
we don't quite
I
know.
mean, was he trying to? Was this Luther trying to do the whole? Well, I think that I'm the one that can rescue the world, and Superman is actually evil, and you know what I mean? It's like the typical villain that we've always said was really good is the villain that actually thinks that they're doing the right thing.
yeah. Like,
they're
to
actually
me-
saving the universe.
To
They're
me, the
saving,
best
you know-
Luthor is that, well, this Lex, he thinks mankind should aspire to be greater, but we shouldn't be modeling after this alien. We should be modeling after
Right.
myself, Lex Luthor. So he's jealous of Superman. That's the Luthor. We didn't get that Lex Luthor. The worst thing this Luthor did was have Mercy killed. Did you like that? You know, Mercy's assistant, like, you know, the 8-foot Asian assistant, you know, in the courtroom.
She was pointless.
She was yeah,
Who
correct.
is she? She was pointless as well.
She's a great character in the in the cartoon, you know, the Superman cartoon, but in this one she was a non-entity.
like.
I have to talk about Dooms. I think we need to talk about Doomsday as well.
We have to. I'm just gonna get you. Okay, go on.
Well, I mean, Doomsday was a blemish.
Let
in
me
this movie,
let
of
me
this
just
movie.
clarify though. Doomsday from the book itself, he's just an alien race. He's not from Zod. He wasn't.
No,
He's an alien race, right?
No. So this Doomsday is like some evolved Zod
From
hybrid,
Zod
like
hybrid,
Zod
yeah.
Luthor hybrid or something.
Yeah, that's right.
We don't know what. You know, it's
Some
very-
abomination, right?
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
But in the books, is it like that? It's not, right?
It's like an ancient Kryptonian race or something.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a particular race. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to clarify that. But go on.
And then I just didn't like. I think it's too soon for Doomsday.
I'm
it's
sorry,
too soon to
but-
kill Superman. You know,
Right.
like, these are the problems
It
that
is
I have
definitely
with
too
it.
soon. And this is gonna sound really mean, but when I first saw Doomsday, before he popped out these claws and stuff like that, all I could think was from the Goonies. Hey, you guys! That's
so
really
mean.
mean. It is, but that's what I saw, and I was like, oh no.
I
why
mean, it
have
was
you
it was
guys-
cool when he evolved. You know, I thought that was a cool thing because Doomsday does evolve. You know, I thought that was a cool little nod. But I just never really liked the character of Doomsday. It was too soon to have Doomsday in this movie.
Okay.
I'm glad that the all three of them got their shots in at the end. You know, like Batman got to shoot him with the kryptonite thing. But Superman dying.
It was about to happen if they fought.
Isn't that interesting? Like,
was gonna happen,
this should be
though.
a big thing. Like, let's wrap it up in this. Like, Superman dies in
Hold
this
on,
movie.
wait, before we wrap it up though, can we just take one step back
Go
and
on.
talk about the dream sequence of
The many dream sequences.
trench coat Batman.
You still have a problem with that?
Is it just to sell toys? Is that what it is?
Probably.
Is
But
it no, but do you know what I mean? Like, is it just to sort of say, hey, now you can get battle damaged Batman?
Nightmare Batman, that's what they call it, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever it might
Nightmare
be.
Batman.
But you know what I mean? It's like, why was he wearing a trench coat?
Okay, well,
And
what
is the
otherwise
whole,
when-
what is the whole point of that whole scene? The
Okay.
whole sequence? Please
I
explain
think-
to me.
okay.
I think I phased out though. I think I was just like,
that particular scene, I think, is a nod to Injustice. You know, where Superman, because you know, there's a scene when I spoke about, you know, Flash. He pops his head in, and he talks about, you know, Lois is the key, something like that.
okay,
I think
she's
what they're
the
gonna
key or
do,
whatever,
yeah, and he said, "Oh, you were right all along about him," something like that. But I think where they're going with this, and I don't really like this at all.
alternate reality.
Maybe alternate reality. Well, what I think is going to happen is Superman's going to become bad. Lois is going to die. So Superman's going to come back. Lois is going to die, and then
okay.
and we're going to get the evil Superman that we're getting in Injustice. So
I haven't read Injustice, so I can't. Say
well,
I don't even know.
I don't think I'm spoiling because the game, the Injustice video game. That's
Yeah.
the storyline. Like Superman becomes bad,
Oh really?
and then so we have a bad Superman. If that's going to happen, so all Zack Snyder Superman, or I don't really like because I don't want to see a bad Superman. And yes, there's precedents, like Christopher Reeve became bad, but that was after like what, 2 decent Superman movies, you know. And now we're getting that bad Superman. So I think they're going toward that. They're hinting toward Darkseid as well.
Oh, definitely.
Did you ever watch Flashpoint Paradox, or did you read Flashpoint?
Flashpoint? Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I think
I
what
like-
they're going
I
to
like
do,
Flashpoint.
it's great. I think they're going to use, and this is how I think you can save it. This is how I think DC can have their cake and eat it too. You can get this Zack Snyder universe done. You can have bad Superman, a Batman that kills, but then if you have Flash, go back to that scene in the Batcave, and then things change just a little bit.
And changes the rest of the.
Yeah, so you have Bruce Wayne, you still have Ben Affleck Bruce Wayne in that same position. Flash pops in and he notices that things are a little bit different, his suit's a bit different. Then you can reboot the universe and you can finally give us all the Batman that we deserve.
You should be a writer.
With- I will do it for free.
DC should hire.
I will do it for free. All right, you don't even have to put my name on this thing. But yeah, I would love to do it. And Michael Bay, if you're watching this, let me write Transformers as well. Also, man, I got a killer idea for Transformers to reboot it. But I think that's what they should do. Whether they do that or not, I guess it's
So,
up for debate.
Okay. Well, look, the only thing I gotta say is everyone's obviously entitled to their opinion about this, even if they're wrong. Just kidding.
No, I think that's wrong, because when it comes to art, you can't be wrong about art. People can say this is a good movie, all right?
That's one thing. This is gonna sound really terrible, but people can say it's a good movie, but when someone says a movie like this is actually good, it makes me feel like their integrity of their reviews or their thoughts of any other movies is voided now from this point.
Yeah, I
know that sounds terrible, but
it is terrible. It is terrible.
But that's how I feel. It's like, what about this movie that was great? The dialogue wasn't great. The editing was absolutely terrible.
It's the same as The Dark Knight Rises. Okay, like for me, there were bits in that movie which made me feel so emotional, like no other movie has done before. You know, the exchange with Catwoman, where she's, you don't owe Gotham. You've done enough for Gotham. You don't, and it's like, you've given everything for Gotham, and Bruce is like, not everything. Not yet. And that bit at the end where Commissioner Gordon's like, I never cared who you were. Like these were all great. This is why I like comic books. Yeah, they can get that emotion out of you.
Okay.
But this movie, Man of Steel doesn't. Not Man of Steel. Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice doesn't quite have that. You had these great moments that should have meant something. Superman died. Superman was going to propose to Lois. It could have meant so much more. And that scene, like in the funeral, that could have meant. Did you ever read Funeral for a Friend? That when Superman dies?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I can't remember it if I have.
There's a bit where like they're putting it's all for show.
Right.
They're going to bury Superman, and Martha can't go. She has to be, she can't reveal who she is. So she has to watch it from home, like that's powerful stuff. It's moving, and like at the end, like Batman's there, he's looking at the grave. My favorite part of Funeral for a Friend, when they're burying Superman in the book, is that Batman didn't go to the funeral. He was like, all right, Superman's dead. Let's move on. Let's make sure this doesn't happen again. And I guess in this movie, they're like, well, I failed him in life.
Yeah,
I'm not going to fail him in death.
Yeah, fair.
Which is a very comic book thing. I also didn't like that. Oh, can you bleed or do you bleed? Because I saw that in Predator already, so I didn't need that.
The only last thing before we need to close this out, because this episode's gonna go for like 40 minutes, which is double the amount of time. But just very lastly, what I didn't like is the fact that at the very last scene, it was something to do amongst the lines of, hey, we need to set up the Justice League, or we need to build a team. I just have a feeling. That's what it felt like to me. It's so lame and cheesy. Like, I have a Batman has a feeling that he needs to set up a team. Has a feeling. I have a problem with that.
Why?
Because Batman is a fact. We need to do this. Fact. We need to do that. But it's just like, I have a feeling. It's like, really, dude? Really?
I mean, you already were behind the 8 ball when you had this old Batman, or older Batman. So, again, it's a direction I didn't really care for that they took.
Anyways, overall, how many...
What I rated?
Yeah.
I'm going to be 6.5 out of 10, I'd say.
Oh, shit.
What?
You give it over 5?
I'm going to give it over 5,
Wait,
yeah.
Remember, 5 is an average. 5 is like, it's okay.
Well,
So
5
you
is
think
like
a
a
little
pass.
better.
I think
5 is just...
I think there were enough little glimpses of things that I personally liked amongst what was generally a disappointing, not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay.
It's disappointing because you walk out of the movie thinking, like, I wish there could have been more. When you walk out of Winter Soldier, when you walk out of the first Avengers, you're like, I can't believe they could do that with these characters,
Yeah.
DC just didn't earn it, unfortunately,
So,
with this. You gave us too much too quick. You didn't build up to the Justice League.
So I'll
It
go
could have
back,
been more.
and I think what it is I'll go back to sort of saying what we said ages ago. Marvel has a good formula when it comes to films. They have a perfect formula. They know exactly what they're doing. DC still feels like they're scrambling to try to work out what they're trying to do.
I feel that
Do you know what I mean?
feel that DC should just
Give up. Give up. Just hire this guy and get him to write.
The TV shows are great.
You know what would be a super
Get
team?
them into
you,
the movie.
Luke, and Rod writing a freaking movie. That's a super team.
Warner Brothers, we're all up for it. Well, let us know what you think. Comment below. I want to read what everyone has to say about this movie, because I know most people are really down on it, but there has to be some things that some people like. I mean, you can't not have like, you can't have hated every single second of this movie. I think there were enough good, there were enough good scenes that made it worth my time. So let us know what you guys think. Like our page, subscribe, do all that good stuff.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see you next time.
See you next time.